All right, so we are here. This is the Millionaire Mom Method. I'm here today, so excited to talk to Jeanne Tomasak. She is a transformation and identity coach, and I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you, Christina. I am so excited myself to be here and to share some my story and just to
Yay.
help other women as well.
Love it. Love it. So, the goal of this podcast, right, of these interview series, I love to focus on inspiring others, teaching others, and growing together. So, that's my goal with those three things. I feel like my mission in life is we rise together, right? I feel like all of us women could use support from each other. And if we can all learn from each other, we all, right, we're all moving up. So, I love that.
Yeah.
So awesome. So I love origin stories, right? I'd love to hear kind of your background. What if you feel like there was a moment that inspired you where you're like, oh my God, I got to get this transformation out into the world. I got to share this with the world. Was there a moment or a series of moments that inspired your business?
So I am your typical, I think I have well, first of all, I think I have a series of moments because
Yeah.
I am your probably one of your typical struggle stories.
Oh,
Um, and it started when I was out of college and I worked for an engineering firm.
oh,
And
yes. I think we talked
yeah,
about this. Yes.
I quickly realized that engineering came so easily for some people. And for months and probably a year, I struggled more than anyone else at the firm. And so I really started realizing that I was much more of a creative
Mm-hmm.
and by intuitive person than linear. And I had realized that this whole entire time when I was a kid and then, growing into adulthood, that society really celebrates linear thinkers. In
Interesting.
school,
And you went to school for engineering?
I went to school for architecture and engineering. So there
Architecture.
was a little bit
Gotcha.
of creativeness,
Yes.
but it
Yeah.
was really more of an engineering firm.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And so through that, I realized that I was much more, like I said, of an intuitive, creative type
Yeah.
of person. So while I was at this engineering firm, I decided to create and launch a kids clothing line.
Oh,
Um,
amazing.
ended up being in about 30 stores.
Amazing.
Had a federal trademark. Um,
Wow. That's awesome.
yes, and through actually my selling and marketing, I started learning that I could feel when someone was interested in my product, or I could feel
Mm.
when they weren't interested at all.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's when I really started figuring out like, hey, I am such an intuitive person,
Yeah.
you know,
There's more
and
to
so,
this than linear math numbers.
yes. And so I started really thinking about other ways that I could really use this. And as I was growing my line, unfortunately, that is when the financial crisis happened.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
And
2008
so
or whatever.
yeah, it was like 2008, and I was so heartbroken at the time. But
Yeah.
however, it was probably one of the biggest life lessons that I had.
Yes.
So I had to close shop because most moms were not looking for boutique luxury brand clothing for their kids.
Yes. At that time.
Um, yeah, they were just trying to put food on the
Survive.
table,
Yeah.
and provide and everything else. So I did a 360 and went into the medical field
Oh,
for
wow.
referral liaison. And if you don't know what that is, it is basically marketing for specialists, medical
Oh,
specialists.
oh, interesting.
So I actually used all of the skills from my clothing line
Wow.
and used them in the medical field.
Oh, how
And
cool.
I learned, it was all the feelings that everyone else would have, is people going to listen to me? Do I know what I'm doing? But that also taught me to trust in myself and believe in myself.
Yeah.
And I learned all kinds of new skills through being a physician's liaison. I put on lunches. I had to sell my doctors, brand my doctors, get referrals for doctors. And so I was able to take skills from my clothing line, but I also built new skills. And that was probably one of the biggest life lessons for me
Yeah.
to truly trust myself. Um,
Yes. How amazing. And
yeah,
so
yeah.
then, so then you
So
figured
from
out, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so but from that, I actually in the middle of the pandemic
Oh,
decided because things were closing at that
yeah.
time and things, everything was just kind of chaotic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
actually
that must have
decided
been hard for sales, right? For people
it
if
was
you were,
very hard.
yeah.
So I had to kind of regroup at that point and
Yeah.
realized that all of my clients wanted to stay with me. So I ended up opening my own consulting firm
Oh my gosh, amazing.
at that time.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was able to really bring all of those skills to light
Hmm.
and manage my own firm at that time.
Amazing. With all these doctors as your clients
Yes, and
or
so,
professionals.
they were all specialists, so ENTs,
Gotcha.
oculoplastic surgeons, allergies,
How
orthopedic
amazing.
surgeons.
Yeah.
Um, and so through all of these experiences, I realized looking back, and now that I'm, in my midlife as well, I realized how many transformations I had stepped into without really giving myself credit.
Yes. Yes. You pivoted a million times, right? You had to, and you figured it out.
Yes. And so
Awesome.
really, now that I've started, which all of those, experiences led me to coaching. And now I've realized that I really like my mission is to help other women live in the values that I also find that are important to me, like purpose, authorship, and freedom.
Mm,
And
love
so
that.
I really want to help other people with transformation and starting a new identity as
I
well.
love that. I love that. And so tell us a little bit about like who it is that you help, right? You help, it sounds like midlife women who are ready for some type of transformation or needing a new identity. How do you know?
Yes. So most of the women that I work with are, and there's a couple of different areas. Some women are going through a divorce and they
Gotcha.
need to just learn how to trust themselves again.
Sure.
Some women that I work with are either creative entrepreneurs or they're
Mm,
at their 9 to 5 job
mm.
and they have that, that thought in their head, like there has to be something more.
Yes.
Which I think a lot of women do have.
Yeah.
Women take care of a lot of times their families and they're at their job and there comes a point when your kids get a little bit older and you have these thoughts of I've had all these experiences. There has to be something more for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
you
What's
know?
next? What else? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh.
So some women are also, empty nesters. Some of them are athletes who are stepping out into a completely new world and,
Sure.
they need help and guidance on releasing old patterns and
Mm.
stepping into basically, stepping into a new identity.
I love that. Wow, that's awesome. And so it sounds like that's kind of one of your biggest lessons, but what do you feel like is maybe the biggest lesson that has helped you, I guess know where to go next or know where to pivot or, what was kind of your biggest lesson that's kind of helped you through these transformations?
I'm so glad you asked that because before I've been on this journey of coaching, I really did not understand or realize that when people say you can truly create the life that you want
Mm,
and you are not bounded or constrained by who you used to be, and it doesn't matter where you grew up or who you are, that you can literally create the life that you want as long as you're willing to take the action steps to get there. And
yeah.
like, as long and truly, when you are in alignment with the universe, and you align yourself and really realize how to control and work with your energy, opportunities, and you will find synchronicities and that just come your way. And it's really amazing and fascinating once you start really realizing and you have someone to help you to guide you along the way.
Amazing. Amazing. And like I know you're a mom, right? How many kids do you have?
Two. I
You have
have 10 and an 8-year-old.
Oh, amazing. Awesome. And
Yeah.
how do you feel like I feel like I'm on a mission, right, to really help moms embrace all aspects of their life, right? And I think you are too. How do you feel like
Yeah.
you either incorporate or take your mom skills, right, as a strength and bring it into your business? How do you feel like you either I don't really like the word balance, right? Because I think nothing is ever going to be balanced, but I just love
Right.
the idea of figuring out how to incorporate your momming actions or activities with your business. How do you feel like you quote unquote balance that or incorporate your kids into your business?
So what I've also found amazing, and I'm still in awe, is that the whole and we'll continue to speak about creating the identity that you want, is
Yeah.
that you can really create the life that you want around what is most important to you. And
Yeah.
so, my kids are one of the most important things to me, which is
Yes.
why I've always been a creative entrepreneur. I feel like as well is because I've always valued the freedom with my kids. I wanted to
Yes.
be the ones that um I coach my kids a lot. We're a sports oriented family. And
Amazing.
so being able to
And
get
be
off of
there.
work, yeah,
Yeah.
and be there and coach my kids and drive them to school, pick them up from school. I go to all their performances, all their plays.
Mm.
Um, Having this kind of life and being able to incorporate coaching in between and still being able to be there for my kids, which I feel like kids really um they see your behavior, right? More than you
Yes,
telling them what to
for
do and
sure.
what not to do. And
Yes.
so with without giving them, it's like principles over tactics, right? So it's like the
Mm,
principles that I live, they're also witnessing that.
yeah.
And so
Yes.
that's probably one of the biggest, when I found that you can create really the life that you want and what is most important to you, I think that's
Yes.
probably one of the biggest lessons my kids are going to grow up knowing because I am a pure example for them.
Yes, I love that. And that kind of leads to my next question. What is kind of your hope for future generations? You have two daughters, right?
Yeah.
And what is your hope for future women? Because I feel like we are definitely on this, like, I think women are always in a revolution. I don't know, right? That I feel like we
Yeah. Oh
all
no.
want, right?
I
We
think
all want,
now more than ever because I feel like just like through society, we have somewhat hidden the feminine energy
yes.
like within ourselves, but also within our communities and how
Uh-huh.
important the energy is and the leader of the household, how
Yes.
important that is. And so my hope is that other women also realize this and they don't dim their light. And I also think that women also have more of a tendency to doubt themselves or to not trust themselves or to it's all the old patterns, right?
Yes.
Overthinking, imposter syndrome, and that once again, that if you're having these thoughts about, what is my purpose? Why do I keep having these feelings or these, your intuition? Because women, I can't exactly quote it, but I knew women have a better intuition than men do,
Yeah. Yeah.
by nature. And
Yes.
so it's like keep listening, to that voice and to take the bold step and to know that you are meant for more and
Yeah.
that everybody has a purpose and everybody
Yes.
has a calling and a meaning in their life and that to trust yourself and to
Yes.
take those steps. And that's also the lessons, that I'll be teaching my
I
kids
love
too.
that. Yes, I love that. I think that's really important and for future generations, right? That you can create the life that you want. And if that life includes working and being a mom, you can find a way, right? You can find a
Yeah.
way to make that work, whatever that looks like for you. I think most moms want to be more present with their kids, right?
Yeah.
Or pick them up after school or be able to go to the games or whatever that looks like. And it's this other part like the job or the schedule or the whatever, right? That can sometimes kind of get in the way. And so I just love the idea that there's a better way, right? There's a better way to
Yes.
have both. And I just think it takes that kind of co-creating, figuring things out, but definitely you need some help along the way, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
And you
not
don't have to
easy.
do it yourself, you
You
know?
don't, and we're not meant to do it alone, I don't think.
No,
Yeah, I
no.
think
Everybody needs a
women,
village.
yeah, I think women especially want to be in community with each other, right? We want to feel seen and heard with each other and belong, and yeah, so I really think I think it's important for us all to be in community with each other.
Yeah, I do as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what is the best way for people to get a hold of you if they want to find more information about transformation and identity and working with you?
So I have a very big Facebook presence. You can
Amazing.
also um get me on Instagram. I have an Instagram
Perfect. I'll
presence
include
as
those links
well.
below.
Yes. And so it's Jeanne Tomasak coaching. And
Perfect.
so yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Okay. That sounds great. And do you have like a initial like freebie or anything that you want to offer our audience as far as what's the easiest way to kind of start learning about your systems?
Yeah, so I do a for right now I do a one-on-one coaching program for 90 days. And
Awesome.
so I'm really kind of concentrated on that right now because I want to
Love it.
give my my clients the best outcome, and I feel like 90 days is truly beneficial for the client so that they get the maximum results.
Gotcha.
Just working with transformation and identity and
Yeah.
stabilizing, releasing the old patterns and stabilizing, your new identity.
Love it. It
So,
takes a while to incorporate or implement all those, right?
yeah, we're all human.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, anything else that you want to share with us that you feel like
No,
you've
even
learned
if you
along the
have
way?
any questions, or want to reach out and just need someone to talk to, I'm always available. And just know again that this is not something you have to do alone. And
Yeah.
please, you know, don't think that you're not special or you weren't meant for more because
Yeah.
everybody has a purpose.
Absolutely. Yes. I think that's so true. And we can feel so much better about our lives or more aligned once we find that purpose, right? I think that really
Yeah,
helps drive this creating of the better life that you want. And it's possible. It's all possible.
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for taking the time. I'm excited, and I'll put
Thank
all your
you.
links below, and we'll
Okay.
hopefully have some new people reaching out to you. And I'll just be excited to be in your world and watch you grow.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christina. I absolutely loved being on here today.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much for taking the time. All right. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.